guys, what's up? Killjoy Jake here, and instead of having friends, I want to play Hide the Soul.
And guess what? You're it.
Today we are going to pit the Child's Play remake versus the original, but before I get into that, I'm gonna need you guys to like this video and subscribe for more horror content. Alright, now let's get into it. So let's start off with the good. And let's talk about the original first. Pros for the original include created Chucky. I mean, yeah, Chucky's like one of the biggest horror icons ever. Next to Jason from Friday the 13th and Freddy Krueger from A Nightmare on Elm Street, I mean, Chucky's up there, man. I think the reason that Chucky is seen as such a horror icon is because he terrified kids all around the world, including myself. Speaking of that, this film terrified baby Jake. I literally couldn't fall asleep at night because I thought Chucky was gonna come in my room and kill me. I saw this film at way too young of an age. Little Andy is just so cute. I mean, the guy can't even get through some of his lines because he's so cute. He tries his hardest, and it's the best. I'm really glad he didn't get killed in this movie, too, because that would have been really off-putting. Great use of practical effects all around. I can't imagine that making a film about a killer doll is actually easy to make. After watching some of the behind-the-scenes stuff, it looked like the practical effects team did a really good job on this film. And lastly, but not leastly, Brad Dourif. The only voice of Chucky, Brad Dourif, is absolutely incredible. I mean, come on, everyone knows that Chucky laugh from a mile away. Brad's incredible, and I hope to see you back on the new Chucky TV series, my dude. Now let's move on to the remake. It does something different with the source material. My big thing about remakes is don't just remake a movie. Like, you gotta do something different. If you have an idea for it that's like, oh, what if Chucky was like a robot that like had a kill switch for some reason? That's the kind of remakes I'm looking for, so big props to this one. This film has a great cast. Aubrey Plaza, Mark Hamill, Gabriel Bateman, Brian Tyree Henry, and the list goes on, man. There's like a lot of great stars in this film. I mean, Aubrey Plaza from Parks and Rec, I always loved her. She was one of my favorite characters on that show.
So you're from Mongolia?
Team.
Will you take me with you when you go back there?
Ubi.
I love you.
She gives a great performance as kind of the lead character in this film. You know, I never thought in a million years that Luke Skywalker would voice Chucky and then make a Star Wars joke as Chucky. That sounds like a bad mushroom trip, if I'm being honest. Also, I'm gonna say it has the best kills of the series. There are some very bloody and gory kills in this movie, I'll tell you what. And all of them are good. Like, there's not one that's like, okay, that was kind of dumb. Like, no, all of them actually like are set up really well. They're like, it's a big point in the movie that these kills are gonna be awesome and brutal. Even though it makes absolutely no sense for someone to have a watermelon patch in their front yard when they live in New York State, we're just gonna forget about that and we're just gonna leave that kill as one of the best kills in the movie. Now let's get to the bad. For the original, I would say it's not as scary on rewatch. I remember avoiding this film for a very, very long time, and I recently bought this Blu-ray box set of all the films because I don't think I'd seen some of the sequels until like very recently. Yeah, this film scared me as a kid, but like rewatching it as an adult, it's not very scary. It's fun. It's fun to laugh at. It's like, look at that doll killing people. That's so silly. The first film really did not realize it was a horror comedy yet. It really doesn't understand that this is silly. To a kid, that's terrifying because you play with your Barbie dolls all day long, and then if one of them come after you and try and kill you, you know, that's really scary. Boys played with Barbie dolls too, right? It wasn't just me. Now let's move on to the bad of the remake, a segment I know that a lot of you are looking forward to. This film is an absolute middle finger to the entire series. The thing about remakes is that they usually happen when a series has been dead for a pretty long time. Like, for example, Friday the 13th, that remake, that came out what, like 10 years or so? 8 or 10 years after the series was like officially kind of over with Freddy versus Jason. It was trying to revitalize the series, see if people were still interested. Let's do a remake, and if they like that, we'll make another film in the original series. Or make a sequel of the remake if people really liked that, but well, we know how they feel about that movie. Same thing with A Nightmare on Elm Street, kind of tried to do the same thing around the same time, try to revitalize the series. It was the right time for that. I don't believe it was the right time to make a Child's Play remake. The original series is still going on. In fact, the last film in the original series came out in 2017. Not even 2 years later, this remake comes out. And on top of that, Don Mancini had absolutely nothing to do with it. They were gonna give him an executive producer credit, but they didn't end up doing that. They just were like, we're gonna make a Child's Play remake and we're gonna make money off of it. F you, bro. Brad Dourif being replaced by Luke Skywalker. A lot of people will argue that Mark Hamill is the best Joker just because of his voice, and I'd say that's a fair argument, but you're wrong. Mark Hamill does have a great voice, and he does a good job, but it's not Brad Dourif. It's not the silly maniacal laughter of Chucky. Brad Dourif just sounds like a maniac that's gonna kill somebody. He even kind of looks like a maniac that's gonna kill somebody. Oh, and also, we can't forget about the Buddy song, the best part of this whole film. Overall, kind of a rough story with a lot of plot holes. Why would you make a toy that has a murder switch on it? Who the hell's buying their kid a Tickle Me Elmo that can also murder you? That's a whole nother horror movie in itself. Can somebody make that, please? Let's get on that, Hollywood. And besides that ridiculous flaw, there's also the fact that this doll has access to everything in your house. And when I say everything, I mean everything. He can change the heat, make the water run super hot and boil your effing skin. What the hell, man? I don't know about that. That's a little out there for me, man. That was hard to believe. It was fun to see a lot of those kills come from that, like where it was like a really ridiculous, crazy kill, like the table saw and the guy holding onto the pipe and it got really hot and he had to let go and he gets cut in half. I'm trying to suspend my disbelief, but man, that's just getting way too abstract out there, man. So now that we've gotten through the good and the bad, I talk about the ugly. Is one of these films ugly to me? Maybe the remake? Maybe. That's how I feel about it. It's very maybe. I don't like that the film was basically a middle finger to the original series because the original series is still going on and they didn't have any involvement with the original cast or Don Mancini, the creator. So I guess, yeah, I mean, it is kind of ugly for doing that. But is it a bad film overall? I wouldn't say it's bad. I'd say it's middle of the road. I'm glad, I wanted a Child's Play remake. I just think that you should have waited a little longer. But the very clear and obvious winner of this competition is the original. It's a horror classic. Kind of. Very fun to watch. Like I said though, it's not as scary on rewatch. It's not gonna terrify you like it did as a child. I know it scared the hell out of me when I was a kid. I didn't sleep. There was many nights that I didn't sleep because I was thinking Chucky was coming in my room and put some metal in my face or something. What do you think about the results? Do you agree or do you disagree? Tell me something about it in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching my remake versus the original of Child's Play. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more horror content. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at KilljoyJake1 and on Instagram at Killjoy_Jake. And my brand new TikTok. What are the kids calling it nowadays? I forgot. Follow me at Jake_Tyler_1. Thanks again for watching, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.